Hey guys, guten Abend aus Deutschland, good evening from Germany. In this video, I would like to react to another episode of Catfished, that deals with romance scammers. In this episode, a lady actually thought she's talking to Chris Brown, and I still haven't worked out like an order in which I'm going to react to them. I just picked them out willy-nilly, and I'm always putting the link to the original video in the description box. So let's get started.
On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Tyler from California who has been in communication with who she thinks is the singer Chris Brown. The two have been chatting through text messages for about 6 months,
6 months, damn.
and she wants to know the truth. Is she in a relationship with her favorite star, or is this all a scam?
Well, it's been 6 months and she hasn't met him yet, and so I guess we got our answer already, but let's see how she justifies it.
Let's see if we can help her out.
Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyler. I'm 28
Hey, Tyler.
years old. I was born in a city called Hayward, California. So a little about me, I really love creativity. I just love being able to put things together, whether it's arts and crafts, whether it's dancing.
Another one that looks cross-eyed into the viewfinder, but hey, right. You can't insert intelligence into people.
Whether it's music, whether it's photography, I am just all for creativity all the time.
Sounds good.
I am currently a dance teacher. Woo woo. I teach for elementary kids and it is absolutely amazing. I've been dancing for like the past 15 years. I first got into a dance team when my aunts decided to come together because they've been dancing their entire life. So when they opened up their team, I was a part of that, and I was around 9, 10 in age. And then just from there, when they stopped, I had decided to branch off, try to create my own dance team, which I did. We've been in parades, we've done like Halloween night festivals, and we've just got to do so much amazing creative.
Sounds great, but with her level of activity, it's a mystery to me how she hasn't found Mr. Right yet.
Fun stuff, and I'm just so thankful.
I mean, look at the kind of clothes she's wearing when she's dancing. She's wearing pretty revealing clothes, and so you'd think there's a couple of males in the audience that would approach her, but so far apparently no luck.
I don't really have a lot of relationship history because, I had one official relationship with my son's father when I was younger, and then from there, I've dated, but it was always just like, things just didn't work out with the people that I was with. So I
Relatable.
really hadn't had time to invest into a real relationship with someone.
I totally get that, and that is one of the many reasons why I'm into the topic romance scammers, because some of you know I was in the States. I was a full-time a single mom for the most part, and so you work all day, then you drive, in my case, an hour and a half to get to and from work, and then you tend to try to look online. This is what I did. I lived way out in the boonies. There were no clubs where I was. I wouldn't have driven 45 minutes one way to get to a club. Plus, what you meet in a club, the kind of category, human being is not what I was interested in, because I'm not into partying. And so I resorted to, Craigslist and Plenty of Fish, and that's why it bothered me so much that these platforms are just flooded with romance scammers.
I reached out to Social Catfish because I just want to have clarity as to if I've been talking to Chris Brown or if I've been scammed.
I can completely relate, but some of these people might have known before they even contacted Catfished. But if they had the skills to find out if they're talking to the real thing, then then there wouldn't be a necessity for a show like Catfished, you know. And so we're just gonna go with the flow.
I just don't want to continue to invest myself or my time in something that has been a hoax the entire time. I would
Yeah, it's relatable, but investing 6 months already, I don't know. That's a tad bit long.
like to move forward, continue to focus on my life, and when you see all the things that this person did, you are going to be like, girl.
After receiving Tyler's email submission, we decided to schedule an interview with her to get to know her and figure out why she thought this could be the real Chris Brown.
So supposedly she's been dating Chris Brown.
The Chris Brown?
The Chris Brown. We're going to meet with her today and gather some information, some details.
David and Brienne had recently filmed an episode of The Today Show and were traveling to New York, so Brienne joined us through Skype while they were at the airport.
How did your relationship with Chris Brown begin?
On Twitter, I had got a message from a account that was under his name. The reason he reached
I don't get how people possibly think that people like, you know, Johnny Depp or Chris Brown, like these celebrities just have these profiles on dating apps or social media platforms and just willingly reach out to their fans, hitting on them.
out to me was because he saw that I was a dancer and he wanted to have me into videos
I was just reaching out because I saw that you were a dancer. Okay.
or whatever the case was. But the more we started talking and getting to know each other, the more the connection and everything grew.
I'm looking for dancers with an apostrophe. Yeah, well, you know, Chris Brown might not be the master of grammar. I mean, that's not a red flag.
From there.
When we get stories like this, we automatically assume it's fake. What is it about talking to Chris Brown online that leads you to believe that this is actually him?
I was able to kind of go back and forth between what he was saying and what I was kind of seeing. And it kind of made me believe like, okay, well, you know, this stuff makes sense. And like, who would go through all of this?
Well, they have nothing better to do. They're sitting in Africa or other countries, and that's how they operate. They invest their entire time into scamming people. I'm going into the studio now. I'll text you after, okay?
He'd be like, okay, well, I'm going into a studio to go make this new video. And he wouldn't give me like specific details to what it's for. He's like, oh, okay, it's a surprise. And I would see on his page and things that he just dropped a new video when his new album had just came out. He was
I love so many of his songs. He has such a nice voice when he's singing, the rapping, and the, I don't know, when he's referring to sexual acts and stuff. I don't like that, but I like a whole bunch of his songs. He's got that such a pleasant vibration in his voice. The first song I ever heard of him was Run It, and I listened to it on repeat one on my MP3 player at the time. I just love the way he sings.
say certain things like, you know, I'm looking to hire models.
And also, when I lived in Virginia, I worked in Culpeper, Virginia, and I had coworkers there. One of them went to school with him, and I thought, wow, that's so cool. But that happens if you live in the States. You're bound to either live in the state that a celebrity grew up in or lives in, and you know.
For this a model for this video, and he would tell me like, you were my inspiration behind the video.
You were the inspiration behind this video. Okay.
October 4th, we were talking, and he was saying how he had to go into a studio and everything.
Yeah, sorry, finishing up at the studio. Look out for the new video.
because he was dancing and doing a video and getting ready for stuff. That timeline had matched up with me because then I think it was like October 20th or something that the video actually dropped.
So that scammer actually paid attention to what the real Chris Brown was doing. Okay.
Tyler would text this Chris Brown account all through the day and night. Her curiosity grew and she had came up with a plan.
She had come up with the plan. Come on.
She saw he had a concert at a venue close by. She bought a ticket but didn't tell Chris she would be there.
Nice. That's the kind of stuff I would have done.
If she saw that he was texting her back while he was on stage performing, she knew for sure it wasn't really him.
I went to his In My Feels festival or concert last December. I monitored, I looked at my phone to see, okay, well, like, are you going to message me while he's at this? Because I know the real Chris Brown is right here in my face at this concert. So
Nice trick, right? If he had responded, that would have been the proof that it's not him.
went by myself, sat in the crowds, enjoyed myself, listened, and tried to feel the vibe. I just waited to see if he slipped up, texted or did any of that. And none of that. Everything kind of went in sync.
Tyler got to the concert at around 8 p.m. and sent Chris Brown a message to see if he would text her back while he was on stage performing. She watched him perform while monitoring her phone, and she enjoyed the concert. It ended around 11:30, and an hour after Tyler left the venue, she received a text message from Chris Brown.
But hey, I saw you texting me. Sorry, I was busy. Why not say I just had a concert? I don't know.
And it was just kind of like at the end of the night, I'm like, okay, well, trying to see if he got around to like, well, how was your night type of thing. But he never went into.
Oh, and then without a warning, she just asked him, how did the show go? I wonder if it was a coincidence or if the scammer actually took into consideration that Chris Brown wouldn't be able to text while during a performance,
Super specific details about how his shows, it was just like, it's a show or fans were there, like that
Pretty good, just like all the other ones.
type of thing.
And then when you told him you were at the concert, was he excited?
I didn't tell him until I actually had went back home. He's all,
Huh. I wonder if at the time they were telling each other already that they love each other, because that would be kind of strange that he wouldn't have said, why didn't you let me know? We could have met up after the show,
oh my gosh, like I didn't believe you were there. And, like I can believe in stuff that you were there. But of course I wouldn't expect for him to be coming out or say anything if it was pertaining to be real or anything.
Well, if they're privately messaging, I think that's in the realm of possibility.
What is the reason why your relationship hasn't gone public?
The reason that it hasn't was because he apparently was waiting for him to be off a tour so he could be home. He said that he's been in situations before.
I don't want to go public yet until I'm off tour. Until I'm off tour, on tour, off tour, okay.
With women, and people will start attacking or just mainly for
It's for your protection from my fans.
protection, I guess.
Tyler had even more reasons to believe that this truly was Chris Brown. She says she even video chatted him.
He did the FaceTime and everything. I opened the phone and it was actually like his face.
Well, that is not proof yet. He would actually have to say something that is unmistakably related to chatting with her, because there's like so many videos of him out there.
And I'm just looking at the phone, like blinking my eyes, like, what the heck? Because like obviously I still didn't believe it. But he like said something, he's like, what, is it like dark around there? Because it was dark in my room, and then he hung up the phone. So that's when I really started to believe, like, okay, obviously there's no way.
Chris Brown had
He hung up the phone. I'm gonna come visit you.
came to visit Tyler in person a few months back. He claimed he was staying at a hotel nearby and even sent a photo of the same street she lived on. This was all confirmation
That's creepy. Why would she share her address with him?
that she was actually talking to the real Chris Brown.
How much of a percentage would you say this could still be Chris? Do you have those thoughts?
I would say probably like a 60% chance, 50-60% chance.
Yeah, a 50-50 is half yes, half no. So she apparently is not very sure.
I really don't know.
No,
He's just such a hard person. Like his information's all over the internet, you know?
it's just so hard to be sure it's you. Yeah, especially when you haven't met.
So I just don't know. It felt like it could have been genuine, but then again, I don't know. I would hope that it
You just have to trust in me, babe.
was real, because the person that I did get to know, I really, really did or do love that person, and the genuine heart. And it was so much more. It was like I'm a faith person and a spiritual person, and just hearing him talk so much about that and being into the same thing that I'm into as far as dancing and
Gosh, she sounds so monotone. But then again, so do I. And it's in the middle of the night, and sometimes we just sound monotone, right?
family, and being such a giving and loving person my entire life, to receive it back from a stranger who doesn't even know me, it feels really good, you know? But I'm also to the point where it's just like I'm not gonna continue on being like trying to rationalize, okay, maybe you're asking this for that, because in my opinion, at this point, no matter who you are, you should be able to show or verify yourself.
He is such a troubled soul. Um, I've been following what he does, and the whole thing with Rihanna and him being arrested, and it's such a shame. Like Whitney Houston, such an angelic voice, and so many problems with substances and violence.
We're here for you. We're all one big team. We're going to grab some more information from you, and we're going to look into all this stuff and close this thing out.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Seriously.
A few weeks later, we decided to visit Tyler at her home to get more insight on why she thought this could truly be Chris Brown.
Okay.
We came over here to really pull some extra information.
Damn, she has a different hair color, different hairstyle. I mean, a different wig every single time she appears.
Try to understand the rest of your story.
She brought up several points, starting with Chris Brown's Under the Influence music video.
Some of the reasons that he would say he was inspired because he was using black women.
I'm looking to hire some models for this music video if you're interested.
Black models, and in the prior videos that he had been doing, he hadn't been. One of the outfits that he wore inside the Under the Influence video was very similar to something that I had wore to.
Oh, come on. You're wearing a white dress, he's wearing a beige outfit. That's reaching a bit, right? But then she already admitted that she has developed emotions for that person she's chatting with. And so, of course, you see things other people don't see because you want to see them, right?
Like an all-white party that I had went to with my family, which was in August, so months before he had even dropped his video. Down to even his hair color had even changed to the hair color that I had at that same time that I had did that. He
had done that. Yeah, but still, he changes his hair color often,
He kind of mimicked, or it looked similar to what I had on.
So what can you tell us about that photo?
That was on the actual official Chris Brown's Instagram. Randomly, when I was just going through his story, I had just seen that he had posted that, and it was that image, but it's also in blue as well. I just froze, because off tops, I just felt like it just looked like it was freaky, like I had posted it myself, of myself,
But he wouldn't be able to do that without her permission.
I went and I asked at least a handful of people, hey, just no correlation, because my family aren't fans to where they're on his social media, stuff like that, so they would know he posted or any of that.
Huh. Okay, so the nose, that could be it. Her upper lip only with lip gloss on. Her eyebrows are way up higher than in the left picture. Yeah, no, I guess it was her emotions that made her see that.
So I was just like, hey, does this look like anybody to you guys? And that's when they're just like, yeah, I really, that's for sure.
See also the distance between the upper lip and the bottom of the nose is higher, but then again it also depends on what angle. You know, like she probably just tried to find a picture where she looked a little bit like the picture on the left.
Sure looks similar to you.
What were some of the ways he had asked you to send money?
Can you send it through Coinbase or Neteller?
Coinbase, Neteller, it went down to Google Play Card.
What? Why would she even think about sending him money?
I've purchased.
If that doesn't work, send Google Play cards. Holy smokes. Okay, that needs to be, at this point where we know so much about Romance Scammer, the Google Play cards and the gift cards, the Target cards, the Microsoft cards, that needs to be a giant red flag at this point.
A Sephora card before.
A Sephora card, oh my god.
But mainly for the most part, it's been Google Play. There was one time I did like a Steam card.
What was the
A Steam card for video games, dude, no.
reason why you needed a Sephora card?
If there was cases where I did get a different.
I don't see any Google Play cards. Which one should I get? Why would Chris Brown need these cards?
And like I did get a Sephora or something like that, it was because the option that I usually got wasn't there, wasn't available or something. And I would take a picture, show what cards they have, and he would say, okay, well, just get this Sephora card or do that.
But how did he justify that he needed money, is what I would like to know. I mean, he's one of the few people on this planet that does not need to be sent money, right?
Chris Brown, he's worth
Right.
$50 million.
Absolutely. He would always put it in a way of,
How can a man be sure a woman is into him if they don't get them gifts? It's hard to tell. How can a man be sure a woman is into him if they don't get them gifts? That is so sick. Especially since they haven't met. These scammers, man.
like, I am a celebrity. Like, I have a lot of money. The thing is that people would always come to me and they always expect me to
How could she agree with that?
want money, but how can I be sure of like your love and your commitment if you're not even willing to do something, do what you can, just show me that you are willing to give what you.
Do what you can. Show me what you're willing to do for me. What? I mean, you know, I don't want to resort to explicit language in my videos, but he has one song that is called Loyal. And in that, in the lyrics of the song are that he doesn't mess with broke girls, you know? So why all of a sudden would he expect for girls to send him money or gift cards, you know, when everybody knows how much money he's got, or that he's not struggling, you know, financially?
You do have.
And the gift cards are in that notebook?
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, so you have all the gift cards and the receipts.
I don't have all, but I do have a lot.
Tyler kept a notebook for all of the times she sent money to Chris Brown.
Damn, she got committed there, huh?
If she didn't send the money by gift cards, she would send it to a woman named Bonnie through Cash App. She was willing to send money to him to prove she wasn't like the other women he was used to dating. She wanted to show him she was willing to sacrifice in their relationship.
But hey, with the money he's got, he could easily just send thousands of dollars and he wouldn't even feel it. And She doesn't give me the impression that she is rich, and so sending $50 here and there is a big sacrifice for her. How would that make sense that he would expect that from her? Mm-mm.
Chris Brown insured Tyler
I want to take our relationship to the next level. Yeah, that would be meeting.
that he wanted to take the relationship serious and even came to visit her in person.
In between this time, he did come to visit you, correct?
He told me he was at the hotel that's kind of close to our area, and he like took a picture of him with the hotel information and stuff there, and he said like, hey, I'm gonna be headed to your house soon. I just need $100 for the taxi.
What? Why would he need that? He's got a driver and bodyguards. I don't have cash for the cab, dude. Then why not meet her at the hotel, right? If he's already in her area, why not visit him at the hotel? Like in the hotel lobby, of course, not in the room. I don't know.
And I didn't bring cash or whatever the case is, so he asked me to give him the $100 so he can be over here.
And then there's a photo where he was literally right outside your house, right?
Yeah.
The two locations Chris Brown claimed he was at
Why would... No. She gave him his address.
were the Marriott just 11 miles from Tyler's house and
11 miles from Tyler's house, and he needs $100 for a cab, sure.
a road on the same street Tyler lived on. He even sent a photo he claimed to have taken on his iPhone when he was close to her house.
I mean, all these locations are really close by, so maybe we can just go check them out.
We decided to do some groundwork and visit these locations, starting with the photo he took on Tyler's street. We immediately went to Google Maps to see if we can match up the photo that Tyler received from the Chris Brown account.
Because, I mean, he could have easily just pulled it up on Google Maps
Yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking.
grabbed the photo and then just screenshotted it and then
Yeah, exactly.
sent it to you, right?
Yes.
And also, why would he say I'm right by your house? But hey, by the way, I'm just gonna keep going and go to a hotel. If he really wanted to meet her and it was him, then he could have said, "Just come outside. I'm right here." And what we also in these episodes, what sometimes they're failing to do is like giving more information that would make sense to show these clips, like what happened prior to him saying, "I'm right outside your house." You know, did he say that they were gonna meet that day and he's gonna tell her what hotel's he's gonna be in? That would be interesting to know.
I mean,
The photo that the Chris Brown account sent to Tyler was completely different from the image that was on Google Maps. This left us wondering where this photo came from. Next, it was time to head over to the hotel. When Chris Brown sent this photo to Tyler through Snapchat, it was tagged with her city and the Marriott not too far from where she lived. Our team drove to the hotel to try to see if we can match up the background on the photo to any location of the Marriott.
Wow, good luck with that. There's not much background on that picture.
where could he have been?
So
He's outside.
Outside?
Or he's
I feel like it was inside.
in the lobby, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
As bright as possible.
But if you took it here, you would see the windows in the back.
Yeah. Or the fixtures too, like they don't have those lights there.
Yeah, they look.
I'm just thinking if I want to know if like at the end of the day if the person is real or not. But I mean, at this point, I'm just really just trying to figure out.
It didn't seem like the background matched up, so why not just ask someone that worked at the hotel if they had ever heard of Chris Brown staying there before?
Hey, bro,
Yeah, good thinking.
I just have a quick question. Has Chris Brown ever stayed here before? No.
It had to be October, November
Well, he just said no.
Last year.
last year,
2022.
2022. October, November, I think.
Yeah, and then you guys would be standing here.
After visiting both of the locations, our team decided to call it a day and go back to the office to put our tools to work. We don't normally take research this far, but we felt it would benefit Tyler seeing the truth in real life.
Yeah, and it helps to do all this research. Because these scammers are getting better and better.
But she was still left with some hope about speaking to the real Chris Brown.
Of course she did. But that's the whole thing when a stranger approaches you like on the internet and then it sounds too good to be true, most likely it is. And maybe you need to guard your heart and not allow yourself to have any feelings until you know he's the real deal, you know?
I really try to like pray to God a lot about it because I know that I have your guys' help with it, and it just takes like a lot of stress off what I was feeling like. I was on an emotional roller coaster
I bet she was.
at one point because constantly looking into it and then you think you see something and then you're not sure, like constantly going through that becomes emotionally draining, you know.
Yeah, but you've allowed yourself to develop feelings for somebody that you had never met in person.
So now that I actually, I know I've done everything I can, I've exhausted all my options.
Right.
I just feel like at this point, it's in your guys and God's hands. Like, it's either the truth or it's not. I just truthfully just would want to know so I can move on.
But what happened to that day that he was at the hotel? Why did that not happen? Why did they not meet?
Move forward with my life and not have that in the back of my mind. If I do completely cut off, get rid of everything, what if it was the real one? Or if I don't, then having that in the back of my mind, like, I don't know.
While we were out, Virginia and Bree were running all of Tyler's information she sent over.
So, as you know, Tyler wants us to confirm that she's talking to Chris Brown. One of the interesting things was that he sent over candid pictures of himself when they were texting.
Really?
Yeah, check this out. Look at that.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure that image is fake, but at least we can run a reverse image search and find out where it came from.
Yep, very true.
Oh, look at this. 36 exact matches.
Wow.
Wow.
It looks like it came from his TikTok, but it was posted on a Pinterest page where people repost his videos.
And he pretended that was a candid photo of himself, of course.
Yeah, it's actually a screenshot from a video.
She sent us another candid photo.
Oh, and he sent it to her as a selfie or what? They're not explaining a whole lot.
From a text message. The chat were very odd. Something about a haircut. The thing is that this picture, he's wearing a hat.
Let me see. What the hell?
Let's run some reverse image search on this one and see if we can find anywhere else that has the same image and cross-reference the dates.
All right, let's do it.
Look, I found the exact same image. It was posted on Pinterest on March 30th, 2022.
And when was her text?
In December
of 2022?
2022, so 9 months later.
There it is.
So it's definitely not candid.
Definitely not. This was posted how many months before?
9 months.
Stick around until the end.
We appreciate you so much.
It was now time to sit down with Tyler and review everything that we had found.
Okay, maybe they're gonna give some answers now.
I'm more so anxious. Like, I feel like I went through a lot of the motions during the process because I was always open-minded to it, but
I feel like you don't believe in me. Yeah.
I didn't necessarily always feel like it was the truth, especially seeing all the things.
I'm not saying you're a fake, but I really just need to meet you in person. Yeah, so again, what happened to that that day he was at a hotel in her area?
And stuff that were out there. But right now I'm just more so like just wanting to move forward.
With this case, we went the extra mile. We went and visited locations. We wanted to make sure there was no stone unturned. We are confident about the information that we were able to pull.
and we'll just get into it. We're going to start with some of the articles that we found about, Chris Brown, his relationship status. It looks like at that time he was with his girlfriend, Amika Harris.
Chris Brown posts tribute to baby mama Amika Harris.
We did talk about that at one point, and just when I started talking to him,
Media's always messing with me. I'm single, my love.
he just said he was single. That's his son's mom, so she's going to be around certain areas and certain things like that. But because, I didn't see anything officially saying they were, because everything is so exclusive, you can really, from what I was reading, I couldn't find anything that specifically said, they both did, that type of thing, they said that they were in a relationship or he confirmed or any of that. I couldn't find that. I just, seen little things that I would question on him on, and he would just be like, he would just be like, that was the mother of his child, stuff like that.
Okay, but yet they never met the day he was in that hotel. And the hotel front desk clerk said that Chris Brown had never stayed. How did that happen? I don't know why I'm so fixated on that to find out. He sends a screenshot, or maybe not a screenshot. Looking at it from the scammer point of view, he sent a picture of where he was at the time, which was in front of her house. So why did she not say, don't move, I'm going to be right out? And then she would have seen that he's not there. Us knowing that he's a scammer, we know that he wouldn't have been there, right? And then that with the hotel, how did that end? So he says, I'm at the hotel, send me $100. So did she send the $100? And then he just didn't show up? And did she then drive to his hotel? Or, it would be nice to have this information and not just give out some information and not the rest of it.
So I'd like to discuss the photos. I know that every time Chris sent you a photo, he had a story to tell you as far as where he was located when he took the image, who he was with. One of the images particularly that we looked at was the image of him. He's wearing a green coat.
Oh, it was a selfie, yes.
Yeah. So we were actually able to find a match for this image. We found that it was a screenshot taken from his Instagram story. Next photo we're going to look at is the image of Chris Brown, and he has the peace sign. It came from a fan's Pinterest page.
So Tyler, my question to you is, why would he take these photos that were on his Instagram originally, screenshot them, crop out the tags from his Instagram?
Honestly, didn't really think about that until you said it right now.
I hope a lot of people watch that Catfished channel, for awareness to be raised concerning what these scammers are doing.
I never really actually considered that fact. The one that I had remembered of him saying he said his current haircut was when he sent me one of his hair in blonde with a little simple. So I don't remember, but honestly, I never really thought about that. So.
I guess it's when emotions are involved, you can't think logically anymore. But if word continues to spread that these romance scammers are out there, maybe, she probably thought that it's not possible that somebody would be so cruel as to pretend to be a celebrity. And so she can pass that message on to people around her. And if everybody does that, sooner or later, everybody's going to be so careful about being approached on the internet that they're going to have all kinds of red flags coming up. I hope.
Really a good question. Really.
So one of the things I remember that you mentioned being confused about was the image of the home across the street from your home.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's almost stalker level, right? And then she doesn't leave the house to, Imagine you've been talking to somebody and you know it's the celebrity Chris Brown. And so he says, I'm right outside your house right now. I'd be dropping that phone and running out there to see if he actually is, you know?
Our research team was able to find the exact image of this home. This was an image from a Google timeline from 2011.
There you go. So it wasn't the current picture of the address, but from 2011.
I personally was a little confused when I pulled up Google Maps and saw a completely different photo, but our search team was able to figure out what really happened. Google Maps has a setting where you can roll back the date on a location.
Okay.
The scammer set the date to 2011 and simply took a screenshot and sent it to Tyler to get her to believe he was on her street waiting for her to come outside.
So the next thing I want to talk about
Yeah, but yet, did she not go outside? Was she at work that day? Did she go shopping? What is going on?
is the image of Chris supposedly at the Marriott that's only 11 miles away from your home.
Well,
And yet he needed $100 for a cab.
when we went there was like some fixtures on the wall that looked like it could have been that area if it had the backsplash.
When we ran a reverse image search on this image, we found that it was a screenshot taken from his TikTok. And this is coming from the real Chris Brown's TikTok page. It's actually a video of him playing basketball.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last thing that we want to go over is the FU gift cards link that we sent you.
FUgiftcards.com is a website we use to track scammers' IP addresses. We have the victim send the scammer a fake code to claim a fake gift card
FU gift cards, I mean, that alone is hilarious.
that they'll never receive because, well, it's a fake website. We had Tyler send this to the fake profile of Chris Brown, and this imposter was so hungry for
Here's that gift card I was going to send you. FUgiftcards.com. I mean, if the scammer is that smart, you know, to work all with all these tricks and figure out that Chris Brown is at a concert, so he can't possibly respond to her text messages, he shouldn't be dumb enough to click on FU gift cards.
money. He tried to claim the gift card multiple times.
It's a Johnny Depp. Well, I guess it's Catfished. You know, they edited this wrong. Because one of the episodes I saw in the thumbnails was about Johnny Depp. And so maybe the editor made a mistake. I doubt that the scammer that pretended to be Chris Brown all of a sudden had Johnny Depp next to his profile picture.
And we were able to pinpoint where this person was.
We were able to grab his IP address and we got several hits.
Okay.
All 5 of the clicks came from Lagos, Nigeria.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Aww. She might have known.
So, what are you thinking about right now with everything that we've gone over?
I didn't go into it blindly. I tried to keep my mind and think logical throughout the process. So nothing that, I mean, I'm not all that surprised because there's always 50-50. You expect you either way. So
Yeah, 50-50. Hey, you guys, look at the left side of the screen. There's a plant that is blurred. Does she actually have a marijuana plant there?
and based off of just things that I had even thought I saw myself and looked into, it makes sense, honestly.
Because he is a celebrity, his images, his videos, all his social media profiles are public. You know, this makes him a target. It's so easy for romance scammers to pose as a celebrity.
Exactly.
It's extremely unfortunate, and you know, this is how people get caught up in these types of romance scams though.
Never went into it with the intentions of what I would get to do with him being a part of his videos and things. I went into it with a pure heart. I went into it with, I'm going to be honest about who I am. And if we connect based off of what you're telling me, then I will go from there. But I never put hopes into, oh
You really need to stop doubting me? What? That would have been the end of a conversation with me.
my gosh, I'm going to live this life. Like, I want to have this romantic relationship. It would be a beautiful relationship. I really would. But
You know who Chris Brown is, right? You know what he's done before. I don't know. I'm not trying to bash him here because I do like a lot of his songs.
I don't feel like just because it's not Chris Brown, my life is over. I
No, that's good.
feel like we go through things and it's either a blessing or it's a lesson.
Yeah, that's a good way to approach that.
And I don't regret going through it because throughout the whole entire process, I was constantly telling myself, okay, even if you do open up and you tell this person things, realize there is still this chance that this person is not this person. So at the end of the day, I had to keep checking in with myself to make sure I was okay with the outcome. So no matter what happened, what would be said, what I would feel.
Yeah, with the run-on sentences, it's hard to get a word in edgewise. What I don't understand is this: for 6 months, like somebody like Chris Brown, he's an American. He's usually on the North American continent, right? Unless he's on tour. Even if he was on tour, let's say 6 months on end, when he's trying to scam women, right? I mean, not Chris Brown himself, but you know, the scammer pretending to be Chris Brown. I would just say, okay, so you seem to be busy. So when you're back in the United States, give me a holla. You know, you don't text back and forth and get used to them. And from other episodes, we know that these scammers don't do anything else but text all day long. And so they text you from the minute you get up in the morning, like it happened to my coworker, you know, a lady from Turkey. In the morning until late at night, they text. You know, they kind of, I don't know, push themselves into your everyday life so that you get used to them. That is why I would say, okay, I'm not doing this back and forth until we can meet. And then as a, I don't know, not substitute, but kind of a, um, some kind of way to bridge a time where you're gonna be out of the country for 6 or 4 months on end, we can text, but we need to meet because otherwise this is not going anywhere. And then asking for money, I mean, come on. Even if it wasn't a celebrity, you should never send money to strangers that you've never met.
Or think I saw. I always kept an open mind that it could be a lie. It could be a scam. So
Good. So she was already not fully invested. That's good.
even with the money that I've lost, to me, it's nothing in comparison to what I've seen others lose or what I could have lost, you know?
Yeah. And there are also these women that really lose it when they're being confronted by the Catfish team about that they actually were scammed. They really lose it. They were emotionally too invested. And this one here seems to still have a grasp on things.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, one of the reasons why you were able to fall for something like this was because, you know, you're a great person. You're obviously giving. You wanted to show this person that, you know, you were willing to sacrifice to be with them. But the thing is they were also taking your kindness for weakness and using it against you. But not only that, but the scammers will tend to morph into what you want them to be. So in this case, you were into Chris Brown's music, you're into dancing, and he used that to his advantage.
No.
Absolutely.
Like many romance scam victims, hope is what kept her holding on.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Maybe it was because she was hoping to launch her dancing career, or it was the fantasy of being with her favorite artist, or maybe it was just the attention the scammer gave her. These are all reasons of why people fall for these scams. Sometimes the curiosity of who is actually behind this fake profile is all a scammer needs to get someone to send money. Why do you think Tyler fell for this? Let us know in the comment section below.
I just want to say, Tyler, I appreciate your time. I thank you so much for allowing us to look into this case for you and you sharing your story. You don't even know. Every time someone shares their story, we get a million emails saying, I think I might be scammed. So, you're also helping bring awareness to these types of scams as well. So we thank you for that.
And that is also why I thought of doing these reactions, because it helps get the word out there even more, even though I'm a small channel. But if somebody puts in romance scam, like let's say this one here is getting scammed, she doesn't know about Catfish, and then she tells a friend, hey, I don't know about this, what do you think? And if I was her friend, I would send her like the Catfish link, the link to the channel or whatever, or I would tell her, hey, go online and put in romance scam and see what comes up and let me know what you think. um, you know and I hope by doing these videos we can spread the word even more, because I have a feeling that a few years ago it wasn't all that bad. I lived in the States, there was no pandemic in sight, and again, I resorted to online dating. Not apps so much. I had, I went to the Plenty of Fish website, and I created a profile there. And I was on Craigslist also, and I posted a personal contact ad, like what I expect, what I offer, and stuff like that. And so there were a whole bunch of romance scammers that I basically could detect by the way they write English, because it's not a proper English, it's a strange kind of English, like kindly send me a picture, and then they use the pictures that you send them for their female scammer troop, to use for their profiles. And so um, the part that really bugs me is that when the pandemic hit, a lot of people were forced to stay at home. They couldn't leave the house, and so it would have made sense to go online and say, okay, since I can't go to the club, all the clubs are closed. Um, I'm gonna go to an online dating app and see what I can find there. And then you're being harassed by these romance scammers. And I think the more people know about them, and the more these platforms like, I don't even know, name any kind of dating app, the more the people that run these platforms know about the romance scammers, maybe they can increase security when you create a profile, that you have to show certain proof, and that it's attached to some kind of data bank. I don't know. Would that be going too far when it comes to controlling what we are doing on the internet? I don't know. But it's a two-edged sword. It really is. They really bothered me. Like, imagine I was a full-time mom. I had a teenage daughter. And again, I didn't want to go to clubs or pubs, because that's when you run into people that drink alcohol. I didn't want that. My daughter and I frequently went to the library, and I didn't run into Mr. Right there. And so, since I lived way out in the boonies where, you couldn't, go for a walk and find Mr. Right. I mean, I couldn't. So I registered on Craigslist and Plenty of Fish. And I didn't fall for the scammers, but it really bothered me that I had to filter them out. I had to waste my time. And again, I was working full time, and I drove 1.5 hours each day to and from work. And sometimes I had to work overtime. And so it really bothered me that these scammers would try to waste my time. And so I'm thinking the more we can get the word out there, the better it's going to be, because these people just need to stop. And since apparently we cannot stop them, maybe it's good for, for us to spread the word and have people be on their guard, when they're being approached online. All right, this is way too long. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had any experiences with romance scammers or any kind of other scammers. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.